Hello, my name is Kwan Xiao. In this video, I will be helping Clovis College Information Systems students complete their Microsoft 365 projects. I'll guide you step by step through McGraw-Hill SimNet as we work on Project 14. This is a Microsoft Word project that follows SimNet Independent Project 8-4. For this project, we'll be customizing a document for the American River Cycling Club. You will apply desktop publishing features, apply and customize the theme, and insert and customize text boxes, a smart art, and a chart. Because this is an independent project, there are fewer instructions and screenshots. To help guide you, a screenshot of the completed project is provided at the bottom of the instructions. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. So for this particular project, SimNet has used a larger screenshot of the finished product. So it's nice to see, we'll be able to see more details and kind of help guide us as we work through the instructions. Let's go ahead and go back to the top to download the start file. Once again, just make sure you have, you can find where the file is downloaded, or you can just click on this here and it will open the file for you. Go ahead and select Enable Editing, and I'm going to arrange it to the right. And let's go ahead and close this one. Yeah. All right, so let's scroll down. Step 1 and Step 2 is taken care of. Let's go ahead and look at Step 3, where they want us to change the margins. So to do that, we go to, I believe, Layout, and then in the margins is a down arrow. We want to go to Custom Margins. So let's go ahead and change that to 0.75 for the top. Make sure you insert the quote mark so it's in inches and not PT or points. The bottom margin is going to be 0.5 inch. The left is 1.75, and the right is 0.75. Okay, it'll say OK. They want us to apply a drop cap to the first letter in the first body paragraph, and then modify it so it drops 2 lines. So to do that, this one right here, I believe. Yep. Just go ahead and select that. And then we want to go ahead and just go ahead and type in dropped. Yeah. And then in the search at the top of the Microsoft Word, going to select drop cap from there. We want the middle option when it says dropped. And instead of 3 lines, just reduce it to 2. Okay. Once again, you can always scroll down to kind of make sure you've done it right. So yes, it looks good. Let's go ahead and go back up. So that takes care of step 4. For step 5, the one is to create a custom theme. It's really more of modifying it. So first things we need to do in part A is change the theme colors to green yellow. So let's see here. I believe it's in design. The colors right now is on the Office 2007 to 2010. We want to select green yellow. Okay. And then we want to select the fonts to Gill Sans MT. So right next to colors is fonts. All the way at the bottom, it's the second option from the bottom, Gill Sans MT. Okay. And let's go ahead and save the theme. So go towards the left side under the themes down arrow. Click on that. Save current theme. I already have one that's called ARCC, so I'm just going to select that. For you guys, you will need to type it. And don't worry about changing where it saves. Just stick to the default location. For me, I have to replace it, but for you guys, it will be a new theme. For step 6, draw a text box and customize it. So what we're doing now is we're creating this light lime color on the left side of the page, and that is done through a text box, which we're doing in part A. So let's go to, I believe, draw, inserts, I'm sorry, click text box, and then select draw text box at the bottom. Kind of draw it so it's vertically long. It doesn't have to be exact because in part B, we're going to actually type in the exact measurement. So the height is going to be 11. And you can always tab to go to the width section and then just type in 1.3. Okay. And you notice it spans the whole page. Now we want to apply the lime accent 1 lighter 80% in this shape fill. So right now, let's go to shape fill, and it's going to be the second row, the fifth color. Here we are. And you can always tell if you're selecting the right color if the name of the color, light accent 1, lighter 80%, matches the name in part C. So we're good. We don't need the shape outline, so let's go to shape outline and say no outline. Okay. For step 7, I'm going to resize it. Well, actually, for step 7, I'm going to resize a picture and align and group a picture with this text box we just created. So what that means is this logo up here that we're going to rearrange. So once again, feel free to scroll down to the bottom. And you notice it's going to be much longer and it's going to be rotated. Okay. So we're going to go to picture format to make it longer. So the width needs to be 8.5 now. Okay. You notice it's outside of the page. Don't worry about that. We'll adjust it as we move towards step 7, through step 7. Part B um, says that select a picture if necessary. No, we don't need to do that. And then rotate left 90%. So to rotate, you notice there's this rotate arrow over the triangle. We want to go and click on that, then select rotate left 90 degrees. Okay. Drag the picture on top of the text box, and then we want to bring it to front. The reason why is because if I click and drag it, you notice as I move it over the text box, it's beneath it. So now we want to go to bring forward, but click the down arrow and click bring to front. For part D, we want to hold the control key and then select the text box in the picture. So the picture's already selected, but now we want to select the text box. So hit the control key on your keyboard, then left click. Oh, well, it looks like I need to click both again. And you can tell both is selected because you notice there's a rectangular box around both objects. We want to go to align it so to center. So let's go back to shape format, I believe. Alignment is this 2 rectangles here. Align center. Then we want to align middle. Okay. Make sure they're still grouped for part F. Then we want to use the position tab. Oh, going back to part F, there's actually a second part. Confirm both objects are still selected. Then we want to group it so it becomes a single object. To do that, you notice this overlapping squares. Go ahead and group that, and you notice it's just one object now. Now we can move on to part G. Use the position tab, and we'll be doing this a lot. So we'll be going to position and going to more layout options. From here, make sure that we want to change the absolute position so it's 0. Insert a quote, and it's going to be right of the page. Okay. In the vertical alignment position, which is this one right here, vertical alignment, we just have to verify it's set to top and its relative page, which is already configured to. So let's hit OK. There you go. Positioned nicely against this page on the left side. Moving on to step 8, we want to insert and customize a smart art graphic. What does that look like? So let's just scroll back down. Is this circles with the minus equal sign? So we'll be inserting that. So place an insertion point at the end of the second paragraph. Example, so it's this parentheses, okay, at the end. Yep. Insert the equation smart art graphic. So go to insert smart art. It's going to be in process, and it's towards the bottom, and it's this plus equal. Hit OK. Now we want to type in the following information. So 220 on the first circle, age in the second circle, and then max heart rate in the third circle. Select the plus shape and then change the shape so that it's a minus sign. So let's go ahead and select that. then go to Format, go to Change Shape, and then under the Equations Shapes section, we want to change it so it's a minus sign. For part E, select the border of the SmartArt graphic and change the height to 1 and the width to 4. So right now the selection is on the minus sign, so click out, click back in a white area within the SmartArt. Now we can go to size, change the height to 1, and then change the width to 4. Okay. For part F, they want us to apply the intense effect. So click, no, not this one, Smart Art Design, and then within the Smart Art Styles, click the down arrow, and then select the last option on the top. Now we want to change the text wrapping so it's top to bottom, which is done by this icon that's been hovering over the Smart Art. So click on that, and we want to select this option where it's the kind of like a upside down U with a blue line on top and beneath it. So yes, that's top and bottom. Now we want to go back to the position tab. So let's go to layout, position. And once again, we're going to go to more layout options. And in a horizontal alignment, we want it to so that it's centered relative to the margin. Okay. And then in the vertical alignment, we want it so that it's top relative to the line. Okay. And for part I, they say select the sentence, but really you just have to click at the end of that, go to home, and then select center, and then that would center it. I mean, selecting it would work as well, but you might accidentally select the Smart Art. Let's move on. For step 9, they want us to go ahead and select the tab text below the paragraphs. So that's actually part A, but it's really, we're inserting and customizing a chart. So if you scroll back down to the screenshot, it's this chart. So we're converting this table to a line chart. Okay. So you notice I have my paragraph mark symbol on. It's kind of helpful because it helps you make sure you select all the tab data. Okay. They want us to cut it. So you can either right click and select cut or use the shortcut key Control plus X. They do the same thing. Part B just want you to make sure the insertion point is at the last body paragraph. Now we can go to insert a line with markers chart. So let's go to insert chart, and we want a line, and we want a line with markers. So it's the fourth option there. And hit OK. And you notice a chart in Microsoft Word pop-up appears. Feel free to rearrange it so you can see more data. For part C, they want us to place the insertion point in cell A1, which is right here. And then we can just use Control V on the keyboard. You notice it pastes the data that we cut earlier. For part D, they want us to adjust the chart data so that it looks like figure 8-118. So you notice we don't need column D, so you can just select the letter D, and that will highlight the entire column there. Right click there and just hit delete. To expand column C, just hover up between C and D until you have a black line with horizontal lines left and right of it. Double click to expand that. Do the same thing for B and C. Okay, you don't need to auto size column A. So this looks good. For part E, they want us to change the height of the chart. So let's go and select the chart. Go to Format. So they want to change it so it's 3.3. And then the width is already at 6, so we're good there. They want us to type max and target heart rate in the chart title. For me, I like to copy that. Make sure you don't select the space in front and at the end of that title. So click in the title. For me, I like to just hit Control A to select everything. Hit the backspace and then hit Control V. Or you can just Control V without hitting the backspace. Now they want us to add a primary horizontal and a vertical axis with the titles you see in part G and H. So to do that, click on your chart once again if it's not active. Go to axis titles, primary, horizontal. Okay. And then in the horizontal one, Control A to select the axis title there, type in H. And then in the vertical axis, type in heart rate. Doesn't need to be open. All right, so that completes step 9. Moving on to step 10, we'll be modifying the chart element. So what does that look like? Well, we want to convert what we have right now to this chart that with the gradient shading, different colors and all that. So that's where we'll be moving towards. So let's scroll back up to step 10. Um, First, we need to apply the style to chart style for part A. So to do that, we go to Format, and then you notice in the Shape Styles, that is where we can insert the chart style. Click the down arrow. Well, actually, my bad. I'm moving a little bit ahead of myself. Let's go back to Chart Design. Expand it, and then go to Style 2. Yes, that's correct. We'll change the colors later on, which is the next step, actually. So make sure the chart area is selected. So you can tell by going to Format, and this, if the far right dropdown says chart area, that is selected. This is where we go to Shape Styles and go to Subtle Effect, Line, Accent 1, which is the second style or second column in the fourth row. Okay. Now we want to change the shape outline so it's thicker. So let's go to shape outline. Right now it's set to 3/4. We want 1.5. Okay. Then we want to apply a shadow effect, which is offset center. So let's go to shape effects, shadow, and it's this middle one, offset center. Select in legend and apply the same effect. So let's go back here. Yep, subtle effect, lines to accent 1. Okay. I actually like the look. All right, for step 11, they want us to insert and customize the text box. Well, what does that look like? Let's scroll that down. The text box is this one right here on the right. It's more like a quotation box. So now we want to go ahead and place the insertion point. At the end of the first paragraph, what is the target heart rate? Really, they should call it a subtitle or subheading. Anyways, now we want to go ahead and insert the Austin quote built-in text box. So go to Insert, Text Box, Austin quote. Just to give you a heads up, SimNet is a little glitchy. There's it's going to be like a grading error that's going to happen. So I'll show you what it looks like when I submit it. So what that means is you're not going to be able to get 100%. It's just a technical issue with SimNet. I mean, I can contact them to kind of bring this to their attention, but don't stress if you don't get 100%. You'll still get an A basically. But let's go ahead and move on and see what that looks like. So for part B, they want us to copy the first sentence in the second paragraph. What is the target heart rate? And then paste that into the Austin quote. Well, what does that look like? Well, thankfully, we have a nice and big screenshot right here. So it's when beginning and then before, which is here, second paragraph. And it's just this first sentence, really. Okay. So we want to copy that. So Control C or right click, copy. That works too. Click here and then Control V. Okay. Now they want us for part C, they want us to change the height so that the text box is 1.6. So let's go to shape format. Right now it's 1.16. So let's go ahead and put in 1.6. The width, they want it so it's 2. Select the text box and apply the subtle effect line accent 1, which is what we've done for this chart here. So let's go to shape styles. Yep. Okay. Change the text wrapping to tight, which is in the shape format arrange section. Wrap text tight. And then we need to go to the position and then more layout options again. So in a horizontal absolute position, it needs to be 5.9. And it's to the right of the page. So that's already set to that. However, we do need to change the vertical absolute position. So it's 3.4 and is below the page. Okay. We need to select the text in the text box. And then we need to change it so it's italicized and it's centered. Okay. I already have my show hide paragraph marks turned on. They just want to make sure there's no blank lines or like another paragraph symbol between affected and what. And there isn't there, so we're good. So now we can go ahead and save and close the document. Okay, upload, submit for grading. I'm going to go back to top. Once again, if you're using Google Drive, just make sure to sync first before you submit. So let's go ahead and upload it. Yes, let's go ahead and grade it. Yep, it's so yeah, so it's the same error I had before when I did a practice run. So let's go ahead and look at it. It's an interesting error. The feedback is an error has occurred while grading this instruction. Please open your file and review the instructions carefully. So this is just like, it's more like a technical error because it's not a good feedback, right? I did everything correctly. And then if you go back to this blue part, which is not green, it says the error has occurred while grading this instructions. I double check, I look at the solution file, and actually, what I've worked through matches it. So it's a technical error, a glitch with SimNet. But hey, 95, 96%, I'm fine with that. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you can get just as good of a score, if not better.